Hello everyone, this is me Dr. Rukmini Chaudhary. Our today's topic is SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus. So we will be talking everything about SLE, like what is SLE, what are the causes, diagnostic criteria, required tests, management, prevention, complications, allopathic mode of treatment, homeopathic mode of treatment. Requested to watch complete video for complete information. So let's start. First, the definition, what is SLE? SLE, or we call it lupus. See, this is a kind of chronic, means it affects you for a long term, chronic autoimmune disorder in which you have different tissue inflammation, swelling, stiffness is there, right? So what do you mean by autoimmune disorder? We have uploaded many videos on autoimmune disorder. We have our immune system that is for defense protection mechanism, but in autoimmune diseases what happens, your immune does not differentiate from the foreign bodies and self tissues, and it attacks mistakenly your own tissue and damages your own tissue. That's why it is called autoimmune disorder. So this is a kind of autoimmune disorder. The disease have different phases. You have mild, moderate symptom, you have severe symptoms. So this is a intermittency of the symptoms, like minor, moderate symptom and severe symptom you have, right? Basically it is divided in two categories. Superficially, if you talk about, if it affects only skin, then it is called cutaneous lupus erythematosus or cutaneous dermatitis lupus erythematosus we call it. When it affects your internal tissue, it damages your as well, then it is called systemic lupus erythematosus, or we call it SLE, right? So now the causes of SLE. What are the causes? What are the risk factors? See, there is no single cause, there is no direct cause in SLE. There are some risk factors, there are some triggers that worsen your problem. So number one is your genes, your genetic, your heredity. No certain specific gene that is linked with SLE, but yes, it runs in family, and there are different autoimmune disease that you have in your close relation. So there is a link in heredity. And environmental factors. See, there can be some medication, there can be some drugs, can be there can be ultraviolet radiations harm. It has also association with sun harm, sun exposure, photosensitivity. We will be talking in symptom parts. And if we talk about the gender, the female are more prone to have SLE, and there is a hormonal link, estrogen link. Female usually have their symptom worse during either their menses phase, menses cycle, or during pregnancy. So there is a hormonal correlation. So these are the risk factors, aggravating factors that worsen your condition. Now we'll be talking about the symptoms, the sign and symptoms, what all symptoms you have. Again, there is a symptom vary always from patient to patient in SLE as well. There is a variety, there is a vast range of symptoms. Some patient can have, we already discussed that it has the phases of symptoms. You can have mild or moderate symptom, and you can have the severe worst case of the SLE. So symptoms vary from patient to patient. You can have hair loss, there can be alopecia, there can be headache, a blood circulation problem you can have, there can be emotional problem, like you can have emotional stress, you can have psychosis, behavior changes, you can have GIT problem, gastrointestinal, you can have dysphagia, right? So there can be GIT problem, abdominal pain, colic can be there. There can be joint related problem, you can have arthritis, joint swelling, joint pain, you can have muscular problem are also associated with this. You have myositis, muscular inflammation, muscular pain, fatigue, you can have, there can be anemia, right? There can be anemia, there can be loss of appetite. So these symptoms vary from patient to patient, and one specific symptom that usually seen in the 50% of the SLE cases, you have malar rash, we call it butterfly rash. You have rash in a butterfly shape on your nose, right, and malar bone. So you have, this is called the specific symptom, but it is usually seen in the 50% of the cases, not in all the cases. Again, the symptom vary from patient to patient, right? So these symptoms can vary from patient to patient. And Raynaud's phenomena, see, if your blood circulation is poor, then you can have numbness, tingling in the fingers of the hands and the toes, usually seen in the female cases. This is called Raynaud's phenomena. And if you treat your case in initial stages, so there is a chance that you cannot have a worse case of the SLE. Otherwise, there can be severe symptom, there can be complication. We will be talking in complication part. And there can be WBC deficiencies, white blood cells deficiencies, we call it leukopenia can be there, thrombocytopenia can be there. You might have you know, the low platelets count you can have. So we will be talking in diagnosis part as well. Now the diagnosis part, again there is no right, there is a no single test, there is no single cause, then there is a no single test. There are, you know, series of tests for the collection of the all the symptoms, and there are some criteria that 5 or 6 symptoms, more than 11 symptoms, it is you know, categorized. All symptoms are met, and this is the case of SLE. And sometimes it happens that you have more than one autoimmune disorder at a time, so symptoms can overlap. Because all the symptomatic collection, your clinical features, your basic blood test, your CBC can be done, your ESR, electrocyte sedimentation you know, rate can be done, C reactive protein can be done, ANE test, that is anti-nuclear antibodies test, can be done. See what happens when you have autoimmune disorder, there are, we already discussed that there is a autoimmune reaction happens, and there are autoimmune antibodies are formed. So to detect that, ANE test can be done. Other systemic lupus erythematosus, it affects your all system like your kidney, your heart, your lungs, even your brain. So all tests can be done, whole body tests can be done to ruling out other problem like your kidney function test, lung function test, liver function test, and your ECG, ruling out any other cardiac problem. So now the complication part, we discuss in the symptoms that it is a condition, chronic condition that have phases of symptoms. Means you can have minor moderate case, you can have severe case, you can have severe symptoms. So in severe cases, if we talk, it affects your internal organ as well. When it affects your lung, it is called pleuritis. It can inflammation. Say this is a kind of chronic autoimmune inflammatory disease, so it affects it you know, there is a swelling, there is an inflammation of the affected organ of the body. So if it is an inflammation of the lung, then it is pleuritis, and if it is the inflammation of the, you know, heart, it is called pericarditis. So pleuritis can be there, pericarditis can be there. It affects your you know, emotional, your nervous system, so there can be seizure, there can be fits and seizure can be there, right? There can be psychosis, behavior changes can be there. In complication part, if the case is not treated in initial stages, then there can be heart problem, irregularities of heartbeats, there can be vasculitis, inflammation of the, you know, blood vessels can be there. So there can be vasculitis, right? Heart attacks can be there. If it is a severe one case, there can be kidney inflammation, we call it lupus nephritis. Talking about the prevention or the outlook of the disease, manage this disease. See, this is a kind of autoimmune disease, so there is no permanent cure. We can manage and we can control the disease by, you know, symptomatic relief. So you can manage it with your balanced diet. Usually the omega-3 fish oil, fat oil are recommended because these reduces your swelling or inflammation. Balanced diet should be there. Moderate activity can help you, moderate activity and reducing your stress, physical as well as mentally, help you in a way. So because once the patient have rest, so the case response is better. So you can have rest, you can have balanced diet, moderate activity. So these are the steps you can follow for leading a healthy life. Now the allopathic part of treatment. See, in allopathy it depends, it the aim, the goal of the treatment is the one is you know, reducing your swelling. So anti-inflammatory drugs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs are given in the mild or moderate cases to reduce the swelling and to relieve your pain. NSAIDs are given, right? If it is the case of severe critical case, then certain you know, corticosteroids and other medicines are given to control, to, you know, treat your case internally deeply. So these the homeopathic mode of treatment. See, moving on the homeopathic medicine, the goal we already discussed that our goal and aim, the first is the controlling your autoimmune activity. So the main focus is to manage to control your autoimmune activity, that is over triggered response of your immune system. So homeopathy balances that. Homeopathic is natural, again homeopathic side effect free, and there are symptomatic medicines you can use holistic, they can give you the as a whole benefit, right? So we are having very good medicine, we will be discussing one by one. So you are requested to use only one medicine at a time, medicine that resemble most of your symptom that have the symptom similarity with your case. So you can use the first medicine we are having, phosphorus homeopathic medicine. See, wherever you belong, you just always focus on the medicine name. The company may be different, what area you belong, so just focus on the medicine name. The medicine name is phosphorus. This is the 200 is the potency. It can be 30, it can be 200, right? So you can start with the lower potency. You can use it orally, 2 to 3 drops, twice or thrice before meal, period of a time. And what is the indication of phosphorus? We have discussed in the symptom that there is a hair loss. You have scarring, you have patchy hair loss, even you have permanent hair loss. So phosphorus is the medicine when you have SLE, lupus you have with the hair loss problem. So phosphorus is a very good medicine when you have hair loss in bunches. So you can take phosphorus for a regular period of a time. Once you start feeling better, you have improvement, you can decrease your dose. Like you start with 3 times, so you can decrease 2 times, 1 time, and you can discontinue this way. Not all of a sudden, you cannot discontinue homeopathic medicine like this. Now we are having Colosynthesis. See, Colosynthesis is homeopathic medicine which is very good medicine in all GIT problem. When you have gas problem, any digestive related problem you have excessive cramps, you have dysphagia, any problem while having even a small quantity of food or liquid, you have problem. So Colosynthesis is a very good medicine. You can use Colosynthesis for the digestion problem if you have. See, Colosynthesis 30 or 200 potency, again with the help of dropper, 2 to 3 drops twice or thrice before meal for a regular period of a time, again for having better results. So this is the Colosynthesis indication. Now we are having Belladonna. See, Belladonna in homeopathy is the medicine when you have circulation problem, when you have congestive headache, right? So there is a congestion, so you have headache problem, you have migraine problem, you have even mood disorders, so you can use Belladonna. Belladonna is very good medicine when you have mood swings, mood disorders, or any mental health issues. When you have Belladonna is very good medicine. So again 30 or 200 potency, 2 to 3 drops twice or thrice before meal for a regular period of a time. You can use medicine. Again, once you start feeling better, you can discontinue the medicine, right? So we are having next is Netramur. So Netramur is the medicine we have discussed in symptom that the patient have photosensitivity, means their symptoms, the eruptions on the skin are aggravated or worse by the sun exposure, right? This is called photosensitivity. So Netramur is a very good medicine. The specific symptom when you have your skin eruptions are aggravated or worse by sun exposure or sunlight, so you can use Netramur, again 2 to 3 drops twice or thrice before meal orally for a regular period of a time. Very good medicine for vascular eruptions when you have. And the last medicine we are having Rustox. See, Rustox is, you might have heard about Rustox in joint problem, in stiffness, any kind of injury, bone injury, muscular injury, nerve, tendon. Rustox is a very good medicine for any joint, bone, muscular problem. So Rustox you can have for arthritis. If you have even rheumatoid arthritis, Rustox is a very good medicine. So if you are having arthritis, you are having joint swelling, so Rustox you can use 2 to 3 drops twice or thrice, again for a regular period of a time. So these are the medicine on the symptomatic basis. There are so many medicines, like there is we have already discussed for the Belladonna. There is one more medicine, Ignatia, you can use if you have depression. There are Arsenicum album is again there, Arsenicum album for skin problem, for anxiety disorder. So there is a list of medicine vary from patient to patient, symptom to symptom. So hopefully these video can help you. If you find these videos, the channel informative, please like and share videos, and you can subscribe our channel to get notified, to be updated. You can press the bell icon. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much.